Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. It is once again Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Good morning to some of you. Good morning, Sheila. Good morning, Barbarella. Good morning, Paula. Good morning, Misty. Let's see who else is on with us this morning. Just want to say thank you for hanging out with me this morning. I'm going to be talking about breath, deep breathing, and today's mantra is deep breaths are like love notes to your body. So I'm going to give you a reminder this morning about working with breath and how important breath is. We're going to also be talking about pranayama. So if you're familiar with the pranayama, the yoga, as far as pranayama, which is pretty much part of the framework of the yoga philosophy and the yoga practice. I use pranayama in my qigong in the morning. I was just outside watering the flowers as we get ready for a nice hot day. And just want to say thank you for hanging out. It is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays every Monday morning here on the Intuitive Prospector page starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll run for about a half hour where I'll give you some topics, some inspiration, some spiritual awesomeness, and then at 8:30 I will stop the video so I can upload that to my YouTube channel. So make sure you get on my YouTube channel if you're not already on my YouTube channel. And I'll come back at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time, and that's the Prospecting Q&A after show. But I'm only going to be able to go for a half hour because I have an assessment that I have to get to at 9 o'clock and a meeting right after. So it's going to be a shorter Prospecting Q&A. So I'll try to get to all of your questions if I can. Make sure to leave a comment here if you're just joining us for the first time. We have a few people watching. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for hanging out with me here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Make sure to turn the notifications on. Make sure to like the page. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube video. It's all in the description. If you want to learn more about the work I'm doing here in the Seattle, Washington area, just visit marclanehart.com or the Intuitive Prospector. So this morning we're going to talk about breath, the importance of breath. And when I was doing my meditations this morning, somebody needed to be reminded about deep breathing, about breathing deep and the benefits of deep breathing, or what we call pranayama. So before we do that, one of the things that I like to ask all of you awesome spiritual prospectors all around the country, all around the world, grab your protein shake, grab your coffee, grab your mocha, grab your tea. I've got my, of course, hemp-infused protein shake. It's a hemp plant with sunflower lecithin. This shake is awesome. Helps with chronic pain, helps with anti-inflammatory. So if you're interested in learning more about working with your chronic pain, anxiety, depression, please send me a comment. I would love to point you in the right direction, especially when it's about the hemp plant. And when I mean hemp, I don't mean getting high. I mean actual CBD, the benefits of having the hemp plant. But grab your coffee as well. It's important to have coffee. And let's just start with the mantra. Deep breaths are like love notes for your body. So in order to appreciate our body, to appreciate our physical journey and where we're going each day, one day at a time, is we want to find the magic in the moment. So if you will, just take a deep breath with me. And when we breathe in, we want to breathe in the pranayama. We want to bring in prana, which is the life force or vital energy. So bring in prana. And we breathe in through our nose, and we want to hold on to that prana, that life force energy, just for a brief second. And then we want to exhale out. Most of the time, a lot of people do shallow breathing. So when you're shallow breathing, it's equivalent to taking your shoulders and putting them up to your ear and then taking a deep breath. A lot of people don't work their diaphragm. They breathe from the shoulders up, and we call that shallow breathing. So pranayama actually gets the diaphragm to be engaged. And how you can engage your breathing, how you can engage your diaphragm, is go ahead and place one hand over your heart, place one hand over your belly, and as you take a deep breath in, you want to activate your diaphragm. So your diaphragm should actually push out. So you should feel your hand on your belly extend out past your heart. And so that's how you can measure. So one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Take a nice deep breath in. And when you push your diaphragm out, your hand, whatever hand is on your belly, should go farther out than your heart. And what you do is you hold on to that and release that. So the goal of pranayama is to train people to prolong and to regulate your breathing. So you want to do this on a daily basis, or what I call the 2190. The 2190 technique is 21 days to get into a habit. We are creatures of habit. And when you do something for at least 21 days, every single day, that habit becomes very simple. It becomes more of a discipline. It becomes more fun. So the 2190 is 21 days to create a habit, 90 days to create and change your lifestyle. So pranayama, what I'm talking about this morning, deep breathing, getting a sense of the vitality force, the energy that's all around you, breathing that in so you can benefit from both physiological benefits, clarity of thought, bring down anxiety, bring down any kind of thought process that's taking you to a negative place. So if you guys would do me a big favor, I need your help this morning. If you could help share out to a few of the cool group pages, light workers pages, or any pages you feel that people would get a benefit from doing that, I would greatly appreciate it. It's too hard for me to try to talk and give messages and try to share out. So if you guys could be kind and caring, compassionate, help us grow the community. It's grassroots. I had to really start over on the Intuitive Prospector page to build it back up. I was broadcasting through the Om Times Institute, which was a lot of fun. I reached a lot of people, but we had to make a change and go in a different direction, which that is what life is all about, right? Is change and new direction. But if you could please share out. I would love to meet new people. Say hi to one another in the community. That's what this community's for. And then, like I said, at 8:30, the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I actually will engage with you directly. Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, Marilyn. Marilyn has a question. Help your friend. We'll do that at 8:30. That's the Prospecting Q&A after show, where I'll actually take your questions directly. Good morning. Have coffee. Yes, have coffee. You got to have coffee. So the Prospecting Q&A after show is where I directly have a conversation with you, because I got to the point where I was trying to talk to too many people, couldn't get the topic. So the Metaphysical Mocha Mondays is 30 minutes of inspiration, topics, guidance, and sharing out with people and growing the community. So today we're talking about deep breaths. Deep breaths are like love notes for your body. So that's your mantra for this week, is to remind yourself to just breathe and breathe deep. So I want to give you some of the things about how deep breathing there's a few things that deep breathing can assist you with. Why would I want to do deep breathing? What I like to observe a lot. I like to listen, I like to feel, and I like to observe. I think so much more can be gained by doing listening, feeling, and observing than actually talking. And one of the things I notice when I'm on a train or I'm on a bus and I'm heading to work, I see a lot of people breathing through their mouth. And that's a very unhealthy way to breathe. Some don't even know that they're doing it. And a lot of them are breathing almost like a dog that's panting. That's what it looks like to some of these people. And some are very overweight. You can just tell not healthy at all. And the normal way of breathing is a learned behavior. And what I want to talk today is deep breathing is to create a habit, the 2190 technique, 21 days of doing something. 21 days to create the habit, 90 days to change your life, from your health, your vitality, your mindset, what you're manifesting into your life. But one of the things that I have found from deep breathing and practicing when I'm doing out my Qigong, for example, I was outside this morning doing a little Qigong, feeling my energy, waking up my physical body, waking up my energy body, waking up my mental body, waking up my spiritual body. I was watering the flowers, talking to the flowers, taking the energy of nature in, but also focusing on my deep breaths. So again, one of the things I was just saying is take your hand, put it on your heart. Take your other hand, put it on your belly button. That's your psychic antenna of life. That's where your mom brought you into this world. So there's a lot of energy down here in the solar plexus chakra. And take a nice deep breath. And if you're breathing correctly, the breath goes in through the nose because the nasal passage warms the air as it goes down into the lungs. There's nose hairs to filter out any toxins or anything that we don't want in the human body. When you breathe through your mouth, it literally goes right to your lungs. So if you have a high risk of bronchitis, if you have a high risk of getting sick, if you have any kind of airborne viral things, you may want to think about how you're even breathing, as far as breathing in through your nose or breathing in through your mouth. So when you take that warm breath in, the pranayama, you're taking life force vitality into your system. You hold on to that. And when your bottom hand on your belly button extends farther out than your heart or the hand on your chest, that knows that you know you're deep breathing correctly. And it's activating the diaphragm, not just the upper chest. Because again, a lot of people are breathing like this, and they're not doing deep breathing. So when you do some deep breathing, let's just practice that real quick. Go ahead and take a nice deep breath. One hand on the heart, one hand on your stomach. Really feel that diaphragm push out, and it should extend farther out. Really push your belly out. And you can do a count of 5, so you can take a deep breath in and count to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can do different counts. Hold that breath for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then exhale for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So taking a nice, deep, cleansing, healing breath, what you want to manifest, what you want to visualize, what you want for your life. Take that energy in. Hold that energy. Extend that diaphragm out. And breathe out. Doesn't that feel nice? So deep breathing is a reminder that I do either for myself on a daily basis. We should be deep breathing every single day. Again, try the 2190, 21 days to create the habit, 90 days to change your life. I practice this with my spiritual development group with the importance of breath. So if you want to learn more about the spiritual development group and things that we practice, just send me a private message or visit marcleanhart.com. But today we're talking about deep breaths are like love notes for the human body. So the one thing that I found with breath, and you guys feel free to comment too. This is an interactive show of the community as I'm giving the topic. So make sure to say hi to each other, give some love, give some healing, give some shout outs. Who else do we got? Alicia, good morning. Thank you so much for sharing. My mom is watching. Good morning, Mom. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I hope you have your coffee. My mom likes her coffee black. I have hemp milk in mine. I'm a hemp everything. So good morning, Christina. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And thanks for sharing. It looks like Alicia shared. Thank you so much. I appreciate the sharing and creating a community of spiritual prospectors, spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal. That's what this show is all about. But as far as the breath goes, as far as bringing in that prana energy, bringing in the energy of life, one of the things that I found, guys, that it really helps with is reducing stress and anxiety. For those of us that are on the spiritual path, for those of us that have had a shakening that causes an awakening, those of us that are sensitive, those of us that are empathic, mine was triggered through great tragedy and trauma. When we become more spiritual, it's not always rainbows and unicorns. It can be very overpowering. It can be more susceptible to picking up consciousness of people, so we can become more depressed, we can become more stressed, we can have more anxiety. So the spiritual path, and the Dalai Lama talks about this a lot, we need all the tools that we can to reduce stress, to combat depression, chronic pain. I know that I suffered from chronic pain a lot because my body was taking in a lot of empathy, and very sensitive to the world and surroundings around me. So one of the things that I found in deep breathing, and again, the mantra, deep breaths are like love notes for the body. That's this morning's topic. The deep breath reduces stress. Deep breathing can reduce stress levels as well as help ease anxiety and tension. So I know that breath alone and doing meditations can, if you're feeling tight and tense, take like your hand and just hold it really, really, really tight, tension release. Take a deep breath in and release. You can do this with the entire body. I practice tension release for tight quads, tight back, tight shoulders. You can hold your shoulders up really high and take a nice deep breath in. And you can actually feel the tension go through the power of breath, through the power of tension release meditations. According to a preliminary study done in Spain, which was done in 2010, controlled breathing therapy helps reduce the level of stress induced hormone called cortisol. I know cortisol very well because I spent 5 years as a professional firefighter EMT. Before that, 8 years in the Coast Guard, so I was always around life-saving events, saving people's lives. Adrenaline, high dangerous things, and when we would get done, as we would go on the adrenaline, we would build that up in our body. The cortisol would then come after the fact. Adrenaline junkies is what we called ourselves, and then the cortisol would set into the body. And cortisol can be you can have put on weight. It can cause all sorts of just health issues. So the next time you're under stress, don't sit in front of the television. Don't eat junk food. Go into a quiet place, hot tub, out in nature, and just take some nice, deep, cleansing, healing, loving, peaceful breaths. And if you want to know if you're breathing deep, again, do that little visual. Put a hand on your chest. Put a hand on your belly button or your stomach. Take a deep breath in. If you push that diaphragm out, the diaphragm should go farther out than your chest. That's how you know that you're deep breathing. And you can do all sorts of varieties of counting, holding. So in for 5, hold for 4, out for 5. I do 7, 7, 7, in for 7, hold for 7, release for 7. Another thing that the deep breathing does is it detoxifies the body. You know, breath is the one thing that we need. When I teach CPR, the first thing that we look at is airway, breathing, circulation. Now, of course, it's switched because now we go to compressions first. But what I'm getting at is ABCs is all about airway. It's all about the breath into the system. So the lungs play an important role in eliminating the toxins and the waste produced from the body. So if we're shallow breathing, it makes our lungs work harder to expel the waste. If you're deep breathing, and again, you do a habit of 21-90, 21 days to create the habit, 90 days to change your life, the amount of toxins in your system can actually be taken out. And anybody that suffers from health problems like inflammation, fatigue, weight gain, muscle loss, high blood pressure, deep breathing is going to be very, very beneficial for you. I got into deep breathing because of my battle and my journey with chronic pain. So I use deep breathing a lot as a tool, as a therapy way to eliminate inflammatory response, along with a good dietary supplement, hemp protein, sunflower lecithin, all things that reduce anti-inflammatory, because about 20 million people around the world suffer from inflammation and they don't even know it. So inflammation is kind of that secret thing that you want to look at to get out of your body. And what better way to battle that than deep breathing and good hydration? Both are free, don't cost you anything, right? At least not yet. So if you perform deep breathing, you can enhance the efficiency of your lungs. So it will improve your overall functionality of the lymphatic system, which in turn will encourage the release of harmful toxins, and it will also help pump the clean blood throughout the body. So more breath is like a filter for the blood, and it actually cleans out more toxins in the body. So it improves lung functionality. It increases and strengthens lung functionality. So if you guys want to leave a comment too on things that you may have benefited from deep breathing exercises, again, trying it on a daily basis for at least 21 days consistently, because when you do the 21-90, create 21 days of a habit, 90 days, you can actually change your life. So feel free to put a comment in. If you're just new to the page, make sure to say hi, where you're from. We're here every Monday morning, or most Monday mornings, unless I'm traveling or out of country, at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then here in about 10 minutes, I'm going to come back for the Prospecting Q&A after show. The video will end briefly, and in about 30 seconds later, I'll come back up for the direct conversation where you can get a reading, have a spiritual chat with me, say hi to people. But this morning I'm talking about deep breaths are like love notes to your body. So another way that deep breathing can benefit you is it aids in weight loss. So for those of you to watch it and you want to start working on your weight loss, start by deep breathing. You don't need to go to the gym. Well, you do, but you need to exercise, whatever your exercise is. But you don't need to get on some fad diet and eat certain foods. It can literally be as simple as deep breathing if you create a discipline and a habit and a daily routine for it. And start breathing deep. And again, activating the diaphragm so the diaphragm is pushed out. But it does aid in weight loss. They've done several studies. In fact, the American Heart Association, where I am actually a certified healthcare provider through the AHA, they had an annual conference. Now, this has been back in 2005 from this study, but according to research reported by the American Heart Association, a structured yoga and breathing program decreases body mass index, what they call BMI, among obese teens. So they've actually done studies to see how breathing impacts your overall weight loss. Because it's concentrated also on the abdomen area when you focus on deep breathing. So a reminder, your diaphragm needs to extend out to trigger deep breathing. Otherwise, you're just shallow breathing from about the chest up. So deep breathing incorporates the abdomen, the stomach, the belly button, and it pushes the diaphragm out. And it also, by doing this, it changes the blood flow in different parts of the brain, and it changes the metabolic activities of the brain and how the brain's functioning by bringing in more pranayama. So, like I said, pranayama is it's a Sanskrit for two words. The first one refers to prana, life force, vitality, energy, and the other one, Yama, is interpreted as breath control. So your first stage 1 is to inhale. Your stage 2 is retention, and that's just taking in the air and holding that. Stage 3 is exhalation. Stage 4 is just taking a quick pause in between it all. So inhalation, hold on to it, retention. Number 3, exhalation. Number 4, suspend, just hold on to it. So those are the 4 stages of pranayama and how to deep breathe properly. Some of the other benefits, it helps you sleep better. So again, we talked about anxiety, we talked about weight control. It actually helps you sleep better. So if you're having problems sleeping, try a deep breathing exercise before you go to bed. Highly recommend that. I've done that several times as part of my meditative practice to help me sleep. They've shown that deep breathing lowers blood pressure. So for those of you that are having problems with high blood pressure, the first thing you can do is start with your own energy vitality of your pranayama and deep breathing into your system. So, it relieves pain. I know my own deep breathing exercise and regimen has helped reduce my chronic pain. But those are just a few of the things. Like I said, if you have something that you feel is beneficial to deep breathing and you practice deep breathing, please put it in your comment section. I'd love to hear from you. I found too that deep breathing, if for anybody that has vertigo or motion sickness, deep breathing can help to regulate and to ground you out. It can help with your digestion. So anybody that's having digestive issues, deep breathing can help with that. Again, when you're extending the diaphragm, the belly out, that's deep breathing. Otherwise, you're not deep breathing. So, and for me, probably the most important thing that I found in deep breathing, guys, and what I'm sharing with you this morning as a reminder that breath is everything. Without breath, nothing else goes, is it gives you energy. It makes you energetic. I know that I'll use some deep breathing here as I get ready to tune into the readings here at 8:30. I've got an assessment at 9 that I got to get ready for. So I'll use the energy around me as a medium, as a psychic, as a spiritual healer. I'll use the energy around me, bring it into my system, and then I'm ready to go to work. So I just know it raises my energy, it raises my vibration. And just the opposite can be true. If you guys are not breathing deep and you're not breathing true, you can bring a lot more problems by shallow breathing. So that's just something I wanted to share with you this morning. I wanted to also give you a prospecting stone or crystal for the week, your totem animal spirit for the week, of course. Again, the mantra for this week is deep breathing is like love notes for the human body. The stone or crystal for this week is called danbarite. It's usually pink. It does come in yellow, white, lilac color. It's readily available, so it's not a rarity stone, but it's danburite, danbarite. That's the crystal for this week, so if anybody wants to type it in or share a picture in the community page, please do so. The attributes of danbarite, it's a highly spiritual stone carrying a very pure vibration and working on the heart energy. It activates both the intellect and the higher consciousness, and it's linking into the angelic realms. Its brilliance comes from the cosmic light, and danbarite is sometimes found with a Buddha formation with the crystal that draws enlightenment and the spiritual light. So it's actually a Buddha stone, danbarite. And again, it's really in a nutshell, it's about smoothing out the path ahead. And when you use this in conjunction with deep breathing, danbarite, I've used it myself. I've got it up here in the studio, and I've used it. It is a spiritual stone. It's really good for smoothing out things. So smooth out your breath, have deep breathing, use danbarite to help you on your journey. Again, it's sourced all over the world, so it's not a rarity stone, so you should be able to find it fairly easy on your journey. That's your prospecting stone for this week. The number that I picked for the individuality card, the number 11 is coming up. So pay attention to the number 11, especially during Mercury retrograde. Guys, this is a good time to be individual, not be caught up in communications with a lot of people. Mercury retrograde ends on August 18th. So this is a good time to go under the radar, kind of just take a break from it all. Mercury is on break, the ruler of communications. So that's usually what I do, is I take a break myself. But the individuality card, the number 11, the color orange, is coming up for you today. I know it's backwards, but you get the idea. And then the spirit totem animal to pay attention for on your journey this week is the koala. So if the koala shows up in your journey, it's just telling you to watch your diet, make sure that it primarily contains food that are easily digestible, like what the koala eats. particularly on green vegetable, herbs, and herbal supplements. So I recommend hemp. The hemp plant is part of your dietary supplement. The next time you have a glass of water, before you drink it, say a prayer of gratitude. So start to envision things that are going into your body and have an attitude for gratitude and the clean water that you do have to drink. Because there are places, believe it or not, that do not even have clean drinking water. So the koala, Danbarite, and individuality, or the number 11, are your guides for this week to help you on your journey, to pay attention, what I always say, signs, symbols, synergy, and synchronicity to help us and guide us on a daily adventure, one day at a time. And again, deep breaths can take you a very long way. So again, deep breathing. The deep breath exercise today was put your hand on your heart, put your hand on your belly button, taking a nice deep breath, and extend your diaphragm, extend your abdomen. And when the abdomen is farther out than the chest, then you know that you're getting good deep breaths, and that's going to help you with your journey, and it's going to aid all the things that I just said. Reduces stress, anxiety, helps you sleep, helps with digestion, helps with losing weight. So just a lot of good activities. If you want to catch me this Wednesday, we're going to have a cool guest on the show for Inspired Living Radio. That's my internet radio show every Wisdom Wednesday. That's through the internet. Om Times Radio starts at 12 p.m. Pacific live. Podcasts are available through iTunes, SoundCloud, Podbean, YouTube, all the big channels. It's going to be a fun guest, spiritual leader, spiritual thought leader. So make sure to check out our page, Inspired Living Radio. Make sure to join the Inspired Listening community. Love to have you on board. That'll be this Wednesday, the live show. And then if I don't hear from you, have a great rest of your week. I'll be back next Monday for another Mocha Monday. Stick around here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Make sure to turn on your notifications, turn on, subscribe, get on my YouTube playlist so you can get all the latest and greatest information that's streaming through from the Intuitive Prospector. But I'm going to end now. I'll be back here in about 30 seconds for the Prospecting Q&A after show. So get your questions ready, because it's going to be a quick half hour, because I got to be done at 9 o'clock. Because I've got more work to do and spiritual assessment to get to. So have a great rest of your week, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Much love to you. Until then, until our next soul adventure, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. I'll see you next Monday for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. Cheers.